Welcome back. In this video, we're going to read and discuss some AITAs. I've got Reddit pulled up. Let's just jump right into it. AITA for telling my stepdaughter to stop cooking in the middle of the night. I mean, does she have to? Like, is that her schedule? Or let's see. I, 34 male, and my wife, 40 female. Why do people always add their ages on here? It's very rarely necessary for the story. I, 34 male, and my wife, 40 female, live with her 2 kids, 13 male and 18 female, and her daughter's boyfriend, who is also 18. I work a 9 to 5, and my stepson goes to school 8 to 3. He's on summer break right now, though. I take turns cooking with my wife. One day I'll cook dinner, and the next she'll cook, just to keep it balanced for both of us, since we both get pretty tired after work. We always make sure to have leftovers ready for lunch the next day, so the kids can heat it up in the microwave and have something to eat while we're not home. On the weekends, I do yard work and wash the vehicle. My wife cleans the house inside. This has been working fine for us so far. Last week, I approached my stepdaughter and asked her if she could go easy on the cooking in the middle of the night because we're trying to make the food last. She seemed to have understood what I told her, but I noticed things didn't change, and she keeps cooking in the middle of the night and also during the day, even though my wife makes sure to leave plenty of cooked food, which everyone in the house eats. My wife agrees with me and told her if she gets hungry during the day or night, she can make herself a sandwich, have cereal if anything. It doesn't help the fact that she doesn't wash any of the dishes after she cooks, so when we get home from work, we have to wash a bunch of plates, pots, utensils, blah, blah, blah. Why are you listing all of the dishes? Before I can prepare food. Today, my son got into an argument with his sister because he found her cooking at 9 a.m. the steaks for the family barbecue tomorrow. Hello? She was searing them on the stove, which caused a small grease fire on the burner. I don't know what the heck she did, which caused the smoke detector to go off. Apparently, her boyfriend was craving steaks, and they forgot they were supposed to be for the barbecue. Nobody believes that since they were planning it for the past 3 weeks. I mean, okay, come on. Don't be eating, like, the special food. You look in your fridge as a kid, you know what you're supposed to eat and what's clearly for a meal. I'm pretty upset that she cooks food all night during the day, but sometimes I don't like having to tell people they shouldn't eat when they're hungry. It doesn't feel morally right to say that. My wife said I was not being unreasonable, and she agrees that there should be rules when it comes to cooking and making the food last. She brought up a valid point when she mentions to me that me and her are the only ones paying for all the food expenses, as we're the only people working. I grew up borderline starving, and I always told myself I was never going to allow my family to go hungry. AITA. No, you're not. You're not telling her she can't eat. You're just telling her to eat the appropriate foods. Don't eat the steaks that are specifically for the big barbecue. Like, obviously there would be things, I don't know, maybe that's not, for me, that's exactly how it was growing up. There was, like, you open the fridge and there was things that were obviously things to grab and eat, or there was sandwich stuff, or there's cereal, there's yogurt, blah, 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 whatever. And then there's, like, pork chops defrost. Like, I would never grab the pork chops. Maybe that's just me. I'm lazy. I'm not going to cook all that. But obviously you don't. But anyways, before I get on too much of a tangent that's off the... Like, I think this is just an emotional question. Like, the thing at the end where it's like, I grew up borderline starving and always told myself I was never going to allow my family to go hungry. Don't let your trauma leak onto them. Like, I understand that's what you're already trying to do, but, like, that's kind of what it's doing, because you're not setting a boundary that is, in this case, would be a healthy boundary to set, just because in a different case, that same boundary was not an appropriate or healthy boundary to have set. It's not the boundary itself that's the issue. It's just like, does that boundary apply properly to the situation? And in this one, it seems to. And she's not starving. Like, she's literally cooking up steak for her and her, was that a live-in boyfriend? Yeah, I live with her 2 kids and her daughter's boyfriend. Like, the boyfriend's a live-in. They're paying for all of his food. Why? He's 18. He could be contributing. I don't know if he's going to school or maybe doing something, but if not, he should probably be contributing to the food. Again, I don't know. Maybe he is doing something. Who knows? But either way, if they're paying for all of the food for all of you like myself, my sisters, my boyfriend, I'm not going to cook up their barbecue steaks at 9 in the morning for me and my dude. Like, that just seems overstretching. But let's go down and make sure. NTA, NTA, NTA. Yeah. NTA, your stepdaughter and her boyfriend should have to start buying their own food or start contributing to the grocery money. They don't forget, so that they don't forget what the steaks were for. They didn't forget. They wanted them so badly, so they got them. Why not? No consequences. They don't have to pay for them. Plus, they don't even clean up after themselves. Totally unacceptable. Steaks at 9 a.m. Period. Small grease fire. Period. Late night cooking. Period. Does your stepdaughter have the munchies? If she's on weed, that would explain a lot. Maybe. NTA, I would be clear with her that food in the house for meals has been planned ahead of time by the people who purchase it. If there's a question, she can ask if she can cook it. But other than that, she needs to stick to the already made food, snacks, sandwiches, etc. And if she wants to cook, she needs to ask permission to buy her own stuff. Also, cleanup is non-negotiable. If she doesn't clean up, she's not allowed to cook. Period. Yeah, it's definitely reasonable to have rules about which food is planned and allocated to meals versus which food is available for use for someone who's just hungry and looking for a snack or a meal. If there's no explicit rule, then ask. No, seriously. That 50-pound bag of... Okay, yeah, as this commenter is gonna allude to, like, common sense. Common sense here. If there's, as this commenter said, a 50-pound bag of rice, use a scoop. If they've got a dozen cans of bean in the pantry, use a can. Eggs, use a few. Steaks in the top of the fridge defrosting? Nah. There aren't that many of them, and they have a short life, so they were likely bought for a specific purpose. Someone got something out of the freezer to defrost? Leave it alone, they're planning to cook it. No cooking at night isn't necessarily reasonable, but that's certainly reasonable to expect her to clean up after herself. No cooking at night, period? Is that unreasonable? Like, I don't think, like, period. I don't think of, like, a flat rule on that is necessary. But again, it's just common sense and common decency and courtesy to the people you live with. Like, if your schedule allows, obviously, that we're talking generally here, but if your schedule allows, don't be cooking in the middle of the night and making up a ruckus, making up a mess. Now, that is affirmed. Don't be making up a mess. Clean up after yourself, whether you're cooking or not. But to just constantly be in the kitchen, making noise, making a mess, eating up the food, that's not common courtesy to the people that you're living with. And clearly, if someone has gone out the way to purchase that, like, fresh type of item, it's used for something. And also, you knew about a barbecue that everyone's been talking about for weeks. Come on. NTA. Clearly an NTA. That's just an emotional question. I don't even think that person thinks that they're wrong. I think sometimes when you're just emotional about something, like if he has this big vow in himself that he's made that his kids won't ever go hungry, and this kind of happens to go around that topic of denying someone food. Not really, but like it's around it. I could see how that would link in someone's head if they're emotional about that. NTA. Oh. This is a heavy one. AITA for calling an insecure child fat. My 17 female cousin, 12 female, recently moved houses and now lives a lot closer to me. She has been coming over to my house all the time to hang out. However, literally every single time she comes over, she insists on weighing ourselves on the scale, especially after a meal. I used to be very self-conscious about my weight, but now every time I decline, she's like, "You're just scared to weigh yourself because you know you're 200 pounds," or something like that. She weighs 124 while I weigh 127. However, I am over 5 foot while she's not even 5 foot. She always gloats about being lighter and therefore skinnier than I am and doesn't shut up about it. She never listens to me when I tell her to stop, and I obviously weigh more because I'm taller. I finally had enough and told her that I might be slightly heavier than her now, but in a few years my weight will stay the same and her weight will be double mine. And she'll be even bigger than she is now. She then burst into tears, sobbing and screaming, telling me that she hated me. My uncle said that she was only obsessed with weight because she keeps getting bullied for her body by her classmates and even her own mother. And she only brought up my weight because seeing that even someone as thin as me was 120 plus made her more self-confident. I said that it's not my responsibility to make her feel confident at the expense of my own self-esteem. That's what I was waiting to say. I was trying to read through the last paragraph before I said that. I get it. Hurt people hurt people. And I have probably a detrimental amount of sympathy for situations like that. But the healthier way to go about things, and the way that this commenter obviously knows and said, it's not my responsibility to make her feel confident at the expense of my own self-esteem. Period. Like, that's what it is. If you do what you need to do for you. But I don't know. I was gonna reiterate, obviously don't take that advice too far. I feel like anytime anybody says anything anymore, we have to clarify that not every time, not every situation. I feel like you get it. Maybe you don't. Who knows? Let's go down. Why are you being coerced into something you don't want to do by a 12-year-old? That's the question you should be asking. She's 17. Yeah, that does seem weird. I forgot there was the age difference too. This person, OP, is 17 and the kid is 12. So everyone sucks here. Your cousin could definitely use the help of a therapist to find a healthier way to cope with her body issues than put someone else down. You could definitely have handled the situation better, though. Although at 17 and having gone through a bunch of this with your cousin, I am willing to make it a very soft ESH. No, yeah, I mean, obviously that wasn't a good way to go about it. Sorry, I'm scratching my leg. That's obviously not a good way to go about it, but that was why she explained in the story that she keeps telling her to stop it and she keeps pressing the issue. It's not ideal or good for you to snap when someone is trying, keeps pushing, but it's very understandable, right? And I feel like it's very common, right? And I feel like it's to be expected when you keep pushing. This commenter says, people need to know OP is just 17. Some people are saying really nasty things to this 17-year-old. Even if they did not make the right choice, be considered that there are both technically minors here. Yeah, wow, I don't know what comment she's referring to, but you know how the internet be. YTA. This is a tough one because your cousin is like this because schoolmates and her own mother bullies her about her weight. Yet she's trying to do the same thing to you by consistently goading you into getting on the scale, which I don't get why you're entertaining her in this. Yeah, also, again, I keep forgetting she's there is this 17-12 age difference. Why are you even feeling pressured by a little baby kid? What do you mean? If my little 12-year-old cousin is hey, look at your silly shirt, I'll go, look at this silly shirt. You're 12. What? I don't care what you think about my shirt. Why do you, I don't know. And even as a sensitive a topic as weight, trust me, I get it. I'm very insecure about my weight. I don't like talking about it at all. But even if my little baby 12-year-old cousin was look at you, fatty, I'd be yeah, bro, I'm pretty fat. Period. Truth. What do you want? It's a 12-year-old little baby kid. I think, though you are both children, as the older one with clearly more self-esteem, you should take her by the shoulders and look her in their eye and tell her she's beautiful no matter the number on the scale. Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. It's very long. I just realized it literally, I'm still scrolling through. Okay. That was a long comment. I'm not going to read all that. But her first sentence there was, yeah, it's like you could take her by the shoulders and like tell her she's beautiful. I think the sentiment there is that like you are in a position to help, like, you know, if possible, if she takes the help, if you have the mental capacity to help, whatever. But like you're kind of set up in a position to help here. Go to her, apologize for losing control of your emotions and saying something mean and untrue, and then try to like build with her, like explain to her why that happened so she's aware, but like, you know what I mean, and then try to move forward, like try to help her if possible. That is a really good suggestion. Let's move on and see if we can find another one that sounds interesting. This one's, I have anger feelings from this already. AITA for making my husband take care of our baby while he has a headache. I can't imagine a scenario in which she would be the a-hole from that title, but let's read. I, 29 female, and my partner, 27 male, have been together for 7 years and have a child together. He's 1 and male. He's about as challenging as you'd expect a 1-year-old to be, but he's easy to play with, eats well, and sleeps well. We both work full-time, him from home and me in a non-profit. Where's the red flag guy? Our son goes to daycare when we are home all day. When we are all at home, I generally do the cooking, cleaning, childcare, waking up the baby. I occasionally ask for help with chores and childcare with on and off success. Frequently, my partner is too busy or doesn't want to help cooking specifically, or is working out of town. Recently, he took a 3-week boys trip. Bruh. I'm in the final stages of applying for a job with the government. I worked my butt off from freshman year in university to have this job, and I'm taking it extremely seriously. My next assignment is a written essay that has less than 48 hours of notice for. I am not a quick writer, and this is not my strong suit, so I was hoping to get it done tonight, and that way, if it needed more time, I could work on it tomorrow or the next day. I went to let my partner know that I'd be leaving our son home while I went to the library to do the essay. I know if I stay home, the baby is going to get sent into the room. Bro! Can you see the steam coming out of my ears? I'm so mad at him. He was in bed and said no. Divorce. He had a headache and needed to rest. He didn't sleep well and had to work today. I let him know that this is an extremely important deadline to me and I don't need to rush it. He ignored me. I let him know again I'm leaving. He is upset with me that he's feeling awful and I'm still putting work on him. Why are men such fucking babies when they don't like feel good on the slightest level? A headache? Bro, I worked overnight shifts in the skilled nursing homes with raging migraines. I would run to the bathroom and vomit and then run back to the patient room and do the job. Like, oh my God. Okay. Like spinning, trying not to die in between each patient. Like, oh my God. And then this man's over here like, I have the sniffles. Sorry. I'm getting all worked up. Anyways. I've prepped dinner. Baby literally just needs to be fed, supervised, and put to sleep. I don't even care if they veg out and watch Bluey. But he's still sick. AITA to insist on going. No! If I haven't made my opinion clear on that. No. Update. He did get out of bed and watched the baby with no further complaints. We had a good talk about fairness and expectations because, as many of you have guessed, this is nowhere near the first time. He is well aware he's on thin ice and some major adjustments need to be made. Yeah, the adjustment needs to be a divorce. I'm sorry, I'm saying it, dude. You've already told him. And he didn't care the first time. He didn't care the second time. He didn't care the third time. He didn't care the fourth. Why would he care this time? Why? You know what I mean? Like, Do you genuinely think he's just gonna this time be like, oh my god, she's so right, and then actually make a change? Like, hello? And I don't say that. Sorry, I might sound mean or judgy on that one. I don't say that out of judgment. I'm saying that to myself. So sorry if that sounded snarky to you. Like, I was literally internally directing that comment towards myself and my personal experiences. Like, hello? Don't tell them twice. Tell them once and then tell them goodbye. Maybe my bias is like really shining through strong here, but like, I really need to stop saying the same things over and over, asking for the same things over and over. If I've asked for it, they've said yes, but their action said no, then they said no. Period. NTA, yeah, you don't get to hit pause on being a parent because you have a headache. No, seriously, I'm not going to read the rest of that comment, but like, 3 weeks. Also, yeah, 3 weeks on a boys' trip? Sus. NTA, based on what you've written, he's just coming up with a lame excuse to get out of parenting. Yeah, you know what? There's so many dudes too, and like, I get it. I very much want that traditional setup, like traditional gender role setup type of marriage. Like, I would love to be at home chasing babies around the yard, preparing dinner on the table when hubby gets home. I would love that. But it does take like every there all the men and the boys want that. Only the men deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, the boys look like the men. Like, I'm not talking about like actual children, obviously. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like men, grown ass men who act like boys, though. Let's go see another one because that one's just pissing me off. Like, I feel so bad for her, and I just want her to be with someone who respects and values everything that she's putting in. Too many people want that traditional thing, but you're like, they want you they want you they want you to be traditional, but they're not willing to do their role to be traditional. That sums up what I was trying to say. Let's see. AITA for going out of town alone. Oh, very much depends on the situation. So let's get into it. I, 40 female, need to take another trip to another state, and my boyfriend, 37 male, wants to go with me. This is not a vacation nor a fun trip. I have an older brother who has been experiencing homelessness and is having a hard time. He's been staying in the streets in Seattle. He normally contacts me pretty regularly, even though he hasn't been able to keep phone for a while. I haven't heard back from him since the first week of June, and I'm worried. My plan is to fly out there for the weekend and look for him because he's always stayed in a pretty small area. My boyfriend wants to go with me. Hi, Gooby girl. You want to read some AITAs with us? You can't see her. We got a Gooby girl in here. Hi, baby. My boyfriend wants to go with me, but it's going to cost me another $500 to buy him a ticket. That's my sorry, the dog distracted me. That's money I'd rather use to help find my brother, honestly. My boyfriend is trying to make me feel guilty for not wanting to take him, but this isn't a fun trip. It's literally just trying to make sure my brother is okay and possibly bring him back home if I can get him to come with me. So, would I be the a-hole if I didn't take him with me? I don't think so. No, that doesn't seem like the a-hole move. No. Again, you have like a very specific purpose. There's a but, like, if $500 is a lot, which like to me it is, but like if $500 is a lot to you, to where you're even thinking like, oh, that money shouldn't be, like, I don't, it doesn't even matter if it's a lot or not, but it's like if you're thinking that money should be spent more productively, like if he's not going to be a help to you really to be there that much, it seems like, okay, trying to make sure I'm still in frame. It seems like NTA. So let's go make sure. Let's go see what the comments say. NTA, 2 things to think about here. He doesn't want to pay his own way. It doesn't matter his financial status. If he cared, he would, like find a way. Yeah, also like why would you be expected to pay for that? It's like you're stressing. She stressed the OP stressed that in the writing, but it seems like he's trying to pretend like you're just going for funsies, and you've made it clear that you're not. That's very different. I still don't even think you'd be wrong to take a vacation just for funsies without him, but it's situational. You know what I mean? Sounds like he thinks you're going on vacation. If he was generally worried you might get hurt, then I could see him having a point. Yeah, no, that's what I say. Like, could he be helpful? Like, does he want to go because he thinks he's going to be helpful? Or, yeah, I guess I didn't really think of it from that perspective. Like, does he feel like that's unsafe for you to be... okay, that could be valid if that's where he's coming from with it. It's kind of dangerous to go wandering around the streets of Seattle, like, around homeless people, talking to homeless people. Like, I don't want to, like, pass bad stigma or anything about them, but, like, I don't think most of us want to go wandering down, like, the homeless encampment street. You know what I mean? And Jay, regardless of the circumstances, why would he be entitled for you to pay for the ticket? No, yeah, though, like, I don't know. I didn't think this one through very well, but, like, why is he expecting her to pay for the ticket? That seems weird as it is. The OP says, I know he doesn't have the money at the moment to purchase a ticket on his own, and he knows that I have the money. I just don't think it's necessary. He and I have an actual trip planned out of state for his birthday in a couple months. Yeah, this is not a vacation, dude. NTA. AITA for hosting events outside of my house because of a service dog. Anyways, I don't like dogs. I've never been fond of them. I don't judge people who have dogs as long as they are responsible. I have a group of friends and we like to host events at our houses like parties, potlucks, game nights, etc. About 2 months ago, my friend got a service dog for her seizures, and I was already planning on hosting a potluck, but I didn't want the dog in my house. It sheds a lot. So I decided to choose a camping area where they can all have fun and enjoy, since it would be effed up to deny my friend coming over because of the dog that she needs. My mind's made up on this. I'm going with an NTA, but let's read the rest of the story. This has been going on ever since my friend, let's call her Sarah, got a service dog. Today it was my turn to host, and one of my friends suggested we do a game night. I told them that I would rather have events outside of my house, and, well, we don't have anything to connect a PS4 outside with. I suggested maybe we do a movie night instead and go to the movies. Jacob was confused and asked why I stopped doing game night in my house, and I explained that I don't want animals. I'm sorry, I said pets. That was wrong of me. I didn't catch that. Oh, he, like, went back and edited it. That I don't want... He said pets, but, like, he doesn't want animals because it's not a pet. Period. But, he doesn't want animals inside of his house, let alone a dog that sheds as much as this one. No one batted an eye, but Sarah started to question me, like she's no longer welcome in my house. If I'm an ableist, I told her that I would rather host things outside of my house if she's going to need a service dog. The times we all spent together are arranged in advance. I chose to do things away from my home so that I wouldn't have to have the dog in my house. If I have the type of arrangement that meant coming over to my house, I would make myself put up with a hairy situation, but I don't have to in this current arrangement. Sarah was not having it and started to call me ableist and unfair to her dog, and that I've changed ever since she got a service dog. I was baffled about everything she was saying. We ended up not hosting anything, and it ended up being so awkward that everybody started to leave the group call. I honestly can't tell if I should be ashamed of myself. AITA. No, we're not talking a private we're not talking about a public business or anything. We're talking about a private home. You don't have to have that dog in your house. And that is a good point to add there that you added at the end there. You have every ability in the world to go out and do things and still maintain a friendship with this person. And frankly, even if this man wanted to cut off that friendship because he doesn't want to be around a dog, Like, I don't like that behavior, but he's absolutely allowed to do that if he wants. Like, I would never do that, you know what I mean? But, like, he's allowed to do that if he wants. I don't think I don't think anybody is entitled to your private space. Obviously, public, completely different. Absolutely different. And I think the way that service dogs are being like exploited and over, like fake service dogs and all that, is like exploiting and overusing the issue to the point where it's making it hard for actual service dog users. I don't know anything about it personally. I follow a few blind creators who do speak about it a lot, so I'm just kind of parroting what I've heard. But that's kind of the situation where people abusing the system is making it hard for them to exist with their actual service dog, and that's something that is incredibly like highly trained, incredibly important to the person, like vital to their day-to-day existence. So they definitely need to be allowed into restaurants, grocery, any, like they need to be allowed where they're allowed without questions and problems, and again, like people bringing fake ones in and making it an issue. Anyways, am I sidetracked? Because what was I even actually talking about? But we're not talking about in public, we're talking about in private, which is vastly different. If someone doesn't want me in their home because they don't want my, like I have dirty shoes from walking in the dust, and they don't want dusty shoes in their house, then I don't walk in their house because they don't want dusty shoes and my shoes are dusty. I go walk somewhere else. I walk into a home that I am allowed, invited into. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with an NTA. That's your private space. Let's scroll down and see what people say though. NTA, your home is not a public space. You are not legally or morally required to allow a dog into your home under any circumstances. I thought the outside party sounded like a great compromise. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not 100% sure what her experiences are. This friend that has the service dog, but it sounds like this person actually, despite having some sort of barrier between you and this person, is going really far out of their way to keep a connection and a friendship and a hangout group with you. I would take that as like a positive. I would take that as like them going out of their way to support our friendship. You know, like, you know what I mean? And she kind of went the other way with it, where she's like upset, thinking that I don't know. I don't really get it. The OP says, I thought so too, but I'm getting mixed answers. Some are YTA, some are NTI. I don't want to be a-hole, so I might have to let her in my house and get used to being uncomfortable. I feel pretty badly about this now. That sucks. I feel badly for him because she's really making an issue where I don't think there needs to be one. In fact, I feel like she should be like grateful for the fact that her friend is, again, going out of his way to maintain friendship with her despite this barrier that's come up. You know what I mean? NTA, there is nothing about I don't want a dog that sheds in my house that says ableist and discriminatory. If it was just her pet, you would say the same thing. Maybe she's projecting because the behaviors of others have changed. Yeah, I think I was trying to say that earlier. Maybe I got distracted, but I don't know what her experiences are to have her have that reaction towards him. But that was what I was wondering too, is like, I just wonder if she's had a lot of bad experiences with that or something that made her have this reaction. So I probably feel badly for her as well, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think anybody's an a-hole here. I do think that response from this person with the service dog was incorrect and not helpful. NTA, NTA, NTA. Yeah, everybody's basically saying the same thing. Like, that's your private space and you are entitled to have it the way that you want it. And as a person who lives in a house with many dogs, I'll tell you, I be eating dog hair. I be picking dog hair out of my eye constantly. Like, I can't wear probably 80% of different types of fabric because they cling to dog hair. I smell like dog constantly. Like, you know, on TikTok, that joke that sounds like, why wouldn't you want this, Andrea? Or I think that's the sound. And and everybody's making the joke that like people without dogs and they're like eating a sandwich nicely and it's all like clean and nice, and then it says people with dogs and they bring the sandwich up to their mouth but it's like covered in dog hair. Like, that's literally my life. Literally my life. Let's go ahead and end that one here. Please do let me know your thoughts on any of these topics that we've talked about. I love to discuss it with you in the comments. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.